Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Guten Tag. All right. Let's see what we got. Let me see here. We got, what do we got? Okay, folks, where's everyone from? You can hear good. Thank you, Mace. I was just about to ask that. Thank you. Hey, how you doing, Long Beach Dragon? Alyssa, of course. Good to see you as well. Um, Oh geez, look, already technical issues. See, this is why. No, 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 no. Okay, let's fix this. So, how's everyone doing? Everyone's from good. As I probably know where most of you are from. I think most of the folks on here I've been on here before. Hey, bro, moment, always good to get paid. That is always a good thing. Hopefully, it is a lot of money. um, so I know we got some people in here from California. You got others from Nebraska, I believe. What else do we got? Um, we got anything else? Anyone from outside of the United States? Anyone at all from outside the United States? Well, there we go. Okay, it's fixed. All right. Um, okay. Well, let me look through these. Thank you, Bruh Moment. Oh, thank you for becoming a member, Bruh Moment, at the Rebel level. Fantastic. As a reminder for folks here, yeah, the gateway to the West. Okay. As a reminder, folks here, we do have a membership program. Program makes it sound so official, doesn't it? So if you would like to join, you can go to the YouTube page, click the join button, et cetera, for as little as 99 cents a month. So Drusilla from Norway, hello. Uh, where in Norway? You don't obviously have to be specific. Missouri River cult, right? Uh, let's see who else we got. Let's see some of these messages. Yeah, oh yeah. I probably should have not. I should have started it a bit. I should have just started with the face instead of the other stream. Hello, Shut. Good to see you here. Um, here and ready, baby. Okay. Um, all right. Just finished the morning's. I hit thoughts on man purses. Well, Macy, there's nothing wrong with a man purse. Okay, men need purses too. Um, and yeah. So I support man purse. Good. I'm glad we have a lot of man purse supporters in here. Um, Big Braden. I thought Big Braden wasn't going to be here. Well, maybe he's not here anymore. I don't know. I be very sad. Okay, not far from Oslo. Very nice. Okay, very nice. Let's say I got do howdy hey teach. Okay, so few things. First thing, okay, we have a super chat thing. Now I think I'm going to regret this, but I'll do it anyway for the sake of the revolters. Okay. If we get 5 super chats, obviously I'll put on the Jester hat. Okay, that's the regular deal. All right. If we get 10 super chats, I also have a Jester. Oh, what do you call it? It's a Jester thing that goes around my neck, like I'm not sure what to call it. So I can become even more Jestered out. And and here's what I see. I'm even pausing to say it. Oh, Big Brayton, you are here. Fantastic. Thank you. A caller. Thank you. I do have so I have a Jester's collar with bells on it and such. And if we go even higher than that, like let's say I don't know, if we get 15, 20 super chats, I will put on Jester makeup. Okay. I have right here, um, I got my nice little thing here, which yeah, this is a nice little palette here. I can put on some Jester makeup and we can just complete the Jester transformation. It's like evolving a Pokemon. Okay. Super chats are like, uh, leveling up or whatever. Okay. So if we get there, I will put on some Jester makeup to complete the look. But I will only engage. Oh my God, bruh moment. This is see here. It's already begun. Okay, thank you. I guess bruh moment. All right. Yeah, I will basically. Okay, so bruh moment says, "Guys, do it." This is his words, not mine. Guys, do it. I need this in my life. Okay. Oh, geez. Okay, yeah. So we got thank you, bruh moment. Okay, evolve into Harley Quinn. Yeah. Okay, I basically will be. You should do pie in the face meets Saran wrap. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Um, yeah, the top and the wand to match. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Long Beach Dragon. Okay, I'm already regretting it a bit, but that's okay because self humiliation is good, right? It's good, and plus, we're playing the role. We're all a bunch of jesters, kind of to an extent, making fun of the people in power because they deserve it. I think I can say this on stream, but fuck them, right? Mm, all right. So sorry, I had to eat a little bit there. So what we're gonna do? Mm, I know, gas, big brain. Uh, okay. So what we're gonna do? I uh, I did look at the news today. I know, Big Bram. I'm so sorry. I know your virgin ears can't take the sound of curse words. I know. I'm very sorry. Okay. Oh, gee, resident union thug. Are you insane? Okay. I mean, I love you. Thank you very much. We. Oh, Mace. Okay, it's already starting. All right. So thank you for the super chats, resident union thug. Again, always love the name. We need more union thugs, okay? Because, if I were Donald Trump, I would have made my campaign slogan, make the politicians tremble again. Anyway, yeah, thank you, fuck 'em. Okay, runner. All right. I know big brain. I suspect. No offense, but anyway. They do say that swearing can be a sign of intelligence if done correctly. But anyway, um, so Resident Union's like, yes, okay, oh geez. Yeah, it's getting lively in here to my detriment. Okay, so thank you for the 3 super chats. Okay. I did look at the news today, and I suspect I will be better in the future at doing actually like when we go look at the news. Um, and the issue, I will say this though, I did just get back from vacation, and I'm trying to get caught up on all of it. And you know how I'm kind of nitpicky about the knowledge I'm sharing or the information I'm sharing because it's my academic background. So we will hopefully starting tomorrow we can start looking more at stuff happening right now. But as a historian, I'm always like, oh well, what happened before today? What happened before that? Because I need to kind of have a line that kind of connects things. So we will get there. Um, but but what I want to do today is there is a Cenk Uygur. Who here knows Cenk Uygur? Cenk Uygur. Everyone heard of Cenk Uygur? I have not heard of Johnson and Ashley Gavin. What's news with you? I have not heard that. That sounds interesting. Hey, Sammy Lammy, nice to see you again. Would you remind me, Sammy Lammy, where you are coming in for your where you are right now? Or like that sounds creepy. Like, are you? You're not in the United States, right? As I recall. Yeah, Long Beach Dragon. Yep, quite familiar with TYT. Yeah, resident Union Thug. I feel the same way. I have a love-hate relationship with Jank. We will hopefully talk about it a bit. Alan W. Hey, good to see you, Alan W. I think Jank's heart is in the right place, but he's moved to the center in recent years, and I don't agree with him on everything. I'm with you there. Okay, I have some complaints. Yeah, so we'll talk about that a bit when we get into his appearance on Jubilee. Hey, Big Brain, I totally agree. Yeah, Big Brain says I'm not a big fan of Jank, but he gets very angry and then I laugh really hard. Yeah, me too. Okay. Yeah, agreed. Long Beach Dragon, not lately, Jank or Anna. Okay. Um, yeah, yeah, I understand. I understand. Resident Union Thug says, and mostly just a hate relationship with Anna at this point. There has been some very bizarre stuff going on there. Big Brain, I feel like he's left wing Alex Jones. Yeah, that's a fair comparison. They definitely kind of look like each other when they get angry. Um, yeah, Long Beach Dragon, that might be a good amendment. He's not pushing to the center. He's kind of moved to the right, and I suspect there might be financial motives for that. Okay. So for folks who just joined, where now we have a super chat. That is, if we get to 5, I'll put on the Jester hat. If we get up to 10, I will put on the Jester collar. And oh God, okay. If we get up to I don't know what, like I don't know. Maybe I should just set an unbeatable. We'll decide when we get there. We'll get to a point. Maybe when we get to 15 or 20, we will then I will put on Jester makeup. Okay, complete the transformation. um, okay, so let's do this together. We're gonna watch this. Cenk appeared on Jubilee. Let me switch over to that screen. Um, Let me take a look here. Live stream. Okay. Can we all see me and can we all hear me? Can we all see me and hear me? Just want to make sure we are all in this together. Um, Pays to be a right wing. It absolutely does pay to be a right wing grifter. All that big money starts coming in. Um, yeah, Big Braden. Yeah, not so left wing anymore. Bra moment. Really awkward now because I consider myself to be more center left. Bra moment. No, I don't care. It's fine. Okay, just messing with you. Big Braden. Also, what's the deal with them naming their company the Young Turks? Yeah. So Jank will say that that is a word in the dictionary, and it is, I suppose. I mean, referring to a group of young rebels. Cenk himself, though, is Turkish, and he has some nationalistic views of Turkey. If you watch the show, he actually a while ago he was still promote. Okay, this was a long time ago. He has completely reversed his position, so don't be too hard on him for this. But like when he first started his career and stuff, he was still saying that there was no such thing as the Armenian genocide. And the fact that he named them the Young Turks, I feel like, is a bit insensitive to his past errors doing that because the Young Turks were partially responsible for that in Turkey. Um, yeah, that's sort of a different thing to talk about. But okay. Um, all right, bruh moment, we accept you. Yes, we do. Samuel Lamy from Sweden. Hello, Samuel Lamy. Welcome from Sweden. You have a great, I'm sure, hey, I know it's not perfect, but hey, compared to America, Sweden's uh, they have a lot of socialized programs there. Generally very happy population. They also produce some great literature, etc. Yeah. Maybe you can give us Americans some advice on how to better structure our social safety nets and stuff, because Sweden does it better. Um, Relates to his father. Yeah, yeah, Long Beach Dragon. That's a good point because his dad, was from Turkey. Okay, bruh moment. Resident Union Thug. Thanks. I actually think I'm more a social democrat, but it's really complicated, very uncertain in my beliefs. That'll be yeah. Okay, bruh moment. You keep letting your beliefs evolve. All right. Mine have evolved very much over time. You all will probably be shocked this, but when I was in high school, I was probably more of a libertarian because I didn't know any better, and I definitely evolved over time. Winterlinde, what is it? Guten Abend, I believe. Well, I'm not sure what time it would be there, but Guten Tag, Guten Abend, Guten Morgen, whatever time it is there. Hello, our friend from Deutschland. Okay. All right, let's get into this. So this is Cenk. I have not watched this at all. Okay. And most of the time watch, I'll start 9 p. Okay. So I guess, Gute Nacht or Gute Abend, Guten Abend, Winterlinde. So, so I have not seen any of this at all. Normally I watch like a little bit of the videos before I watch them. Um, Big Brain, you're totally right about libertarians. So let's get into this. So this is Jank on Jubilee. I think this is from a few. Well, I'm not sure how long ago this was from. Maybe a couple weeks ago. Um, okay. Oh God. Okay. So Long Beach Dragon says he watched 15 minutes and was screaming at his screen. That's a good sign. This will be fun. Okay. So what we're gonna do, we'll watch it. I believe they are arguing. Jank is well, we'll just get into it, okay? For those who just came in, we have a super chat goal. I know I mentioned this a few times. If we get 5 super chats, I will put on the Jester hat. 10, I will put on the Jester collar. And if I get maybe 20 or 15, depending on time, I will put Jester makeup on and complete the transformation like a Pokemon, evolving by stages. Okay. Okay, let's watch this now, folks. Again, as always, you know how moronic I am when it comes to technology, so please let me know if it sounds good. If so let's get started here. This is Cenk on Jubilee. We'll get going.
Complete failures. We tried fake populism under Donald Trump. Complete failure.
I disagree.
So the only thing we haven't tried is left-wing populism. And you say, don't try it. Go back to the establishment Democrats. Are you crazy?
You can't vote Democrat and then say that, well, because they still support the rich and the rich still get all the tax cuts, I'm still going to cast my vote, which is the most powerful political weapon you have, to the very establishment that you're on one hand trying to tear down.
That's just weird to mention guardrails against firing people when you rejected a union at your company and fired somebody for organizing.
Yeah, that is absolutely not true. You could.
Okay, folks, how's the sound? Before I keep going, it looks like this is just sort of an opening, so I'm not really missing anything. Does it sound good? Does it too loud, too soft? Do I need to turn it up any? Are we good? Sounds good. Fantastic. Excellent. Grace Abrams, welcome back. I will say, I saw you mention when did this start. I kind of started a little bit before 3, but we kind of only getting into the main content now, so you haven't missed anything, except for me mentioning my humiliation that I will probably experience. So, okay. All right, let's continue, folks. So again, Cenk Uygur, founder of the Young Turks, and admittedly has done quite a bit for the progressive movement. I think he was one of the original YouTube partners. So we will see what he has to say. Let's continue.
Say that if you like.
That is true. Look it up.
Fine. So since you smeared me, let's explain. Hi, I'm Cenk Uygur. I'm host of the Young Turks, live weekdays, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. I'm also the head of the TYT Network. I'm also founder of Just Democrats, Wolfpack, and Rebellion Pack, where we're trying to bring the country together. And here I am surrounded by 20 Democrats and Republicans, and I'm going to try to bring them together.
Okay, so I will say, I saw, what did he say? Alan W. He played a part in getting AOC. Yeah, he absolutely did. He was the founder, one of the 2 founders. I think Kyle Kalinske was the other one who founded a group called Justice Democrats, who heavily funded multiple progressive candidates. I think Cori Bush was another one of them. Jamal Bowman, AOC, Ilhan Omar, all pretty great progressives. So yeah, they were very kind of helpful in that. Yeah, bro, moment. Very disappointed in AOC about that. Yeah, let's just put it that way. Very disappointed. Okay. Um, let's continue. And I agree, LSA. Jubilee, I'm honestly, I'm kind of guilty of this. I'm sort of exploiting it. They, they're kind of unhinged. Jubilee is, they kind of stack the deck against, whoever's there. On top of that, they oftentimes have some of the most radical people on possible just to get more clicks and content, and it makes people like me watch them live with you. Okay, so they caught me in the trap. But again, it is I think it's interesting, but it's you're right. Don't Jubilee might not be the most ethical organization, um, especially when it comes to some of their videos about like, oh, guess who's the black man or guess who's the gay man and things like that. I get the intention behind that. It's just kind of weirdly clickbaity and strange. Okay. All right, let's continue.
Claim number 1 is that Democrats and Republicans agree on economic issues and try to divide us and distract us with culture wars.
Oh, okay. So the first claim here, Democrats and Republicans agree on economic issues and try to divide us with culture wars. Ooh, folks, I'm sorry, but I totally agree with that. For the most part, not completely. The Democrats are not as bad as the Republicans, but there is a lot of agreement that on both sides in regards to economic issues because they have the same donors. Yeah. Thank you. That's a good way of phrasing it. Let's say mostly agree. Long Beach Dragon, I noticed a number of people that are in the surround. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. There are. All right. Okay. Let's continue. See how Cenk does.
Monday.com's AI blogs
Oh,
are
geez,
a
we got
total
an
game
ad.
changer.
Excuse
Give me a
if I
moment.
find that hard to believe.
You know that llamas are biologic.
All right, continue.
How are you, Cenk? Good to meet you.
Good to meet
My
you.
name's
Hey, real question here. Do we really think that that's how they decide who goes next? They just run towards this chair? Because what if you have like an Olympic athlete in there that just gets there first every single time, right? Like I'm not sure what the rules are in regards to that, but I don't know. Maybe it's not staged, but it kind of seems staged to me. By the way, Grace Abrams, I agree with you. I think both sides kind of use culture wars. Now, admittedly, uh, I think the Democrats, they don't really start the culture war issues. The right wing does, and then the Democrats do this little song and dance where they fight back. Then they devote all their energy to fighting back against the culture war issues that the right wing starts, and they then don't talk about economic issues. So they just kind of follow along with what the Republicans do, and then kind of ignore the economic issues because they have the excuse of, well, the Republicans are doing these culture war things. Um, yeah. Okay. Um, uh, Ranch Althor, kind of agree, but man, cancel culture is an issue. On the far right, I would like to see them at least speak more against the rate. Yeah. Hey, I totally agree with you. Okay. I do think there is an issue with quote unquote cancel culture. Uh, this is complicated. Maybe we'll talk about it more here in a bit. Yeah, I have kind of a nuanced view on that. Okay, let's continue.
Oliver.
Hey, Oliver.
Yeah. So I guess the first place I want to start off with your claim is to first say that I think there's a grain of truth in it, and I think I would largely agree that when it comes to the system of neoliberalism, the system of capitalism, I think there can be a lot of overlap. I think where I would probably push back a little bit is when we look specifically at what policy issues get passed and how they affect people, there seems to be a very big difference. So for example, under the Biden administration, we saw with the expansion of the Affordable Care Act and Medicaid, we saw over 8 million people become eligible for Medicaid who were previously not eligible. If we contrast that right now with what's in Trump's big beautiful bill, over a 10-year period, that would make between 15 and 16 million people ineligible for Medicaid. So it seems on a crucial economic issue that affects people's ability to, survive, have quality health care, live quality lives. There seems to be a stark contrast. So I'm just
Okay, admittedly, that is partially true. All right, partially true, and also under Biden, he made some of the most popular medications. He made so the government could negotiate prices for those things. Trump has now was rolling back a lot of those things. But like I said previously, economically, typically the Republicans are worse. That doesn't mean the Democrats are great. And the Democrats will oftentimes sort of just mess around the edges, which is kind of what we saw with what Biden did. Okay, versus actually fixing the problem. Yeah, I'll just continue here. Long Beach Dragon says Democrats end up missing the forest for the trees by focusing on a single thing instead of the bigger picture. Yeah, absolutely, they do. And I say that as a centrist Democrat. Yeah, it is true. Okay. Um, all right, continue.
wondering your thoughts on that.
So where I would disagree is the word stark. So I understand there is a contrast. That's why I vote Democrat. But these are giant buts here. So first of all, they say on Medicare, we should negotiate drug prices. The Democrats say, and then they never deliver. They didn't even try to negotiate drug prices other than on insulin and maybe 10 other drugs. And you go, well, that's pretty good. No, that's 10 drugs.
Okay, so admittedly, folks, okay, Cenk is right in that we could have the government negotiate drug prices for every drug. We pay more for our medications here than most other countries do that get our medications. Uh, as a matter of fact, the law is written so that the government can basically not determine at all how much they pay for the drugs that they get from these companies, and the companies can set whatever price they want. That's insane. Okay, that is bizarre, and that makes the drugs very expensive. But it's not really surprising because pharmaceutical companies are some of the biggest donors to politicians. So of course, um, yeah. Hey, Ranch. Ranch says I love hearing the polarizing view that the U.S. has on healthcare. But as a Canadian, the problems we have are so Alan. Oh, 100%. Please share your healthcare system with us. I'd love it. Um, so Alice says, "Don't worry, Trump is getting drug prices down." Yeah, yeah, okay. Right, 1,500%. So, but I do think Cenk is over critical. I'm not a fan of Biden, but those are very like insulin and stuff. Some of the drugs that Biden did decrease the prices on for negotiating are very important drugs that are used very widely. So yes, it did have a very positive effect. That being said, It was not what he said he would do. He said he would have all drug prices negotiated, and we still have a massive problem. So once again, tinkering around the edges, classic sort of democratic way to do that.
Out of tens of thousands of drugs. At a maximum, it's only a $6 billion savings, when in reality, what we actually would do if we negotiated the drug prices is several $100 billion in savings. So what I'm saying to you is, while the Democrats do some things that are positive, they do it almost as a release valve. So they go, okay, here's another example that you mentioned, the Affordable Care Act. You know what it was called before it was called Obamacare?
You can enlighten me.
Yeah.
The Romney was a plan that was tried in a Republican state.
Exactly.
We talked about this. How remember the Affordable Care Act was originally actually devised by the Heritage Foundation, and it was first implemented by the way, Heritage Foundation being the same organization that implemented Project 2025. Bruh Moment, you have a very good point here. Bruh Moment says, not sure why he entirely discounts it. How else are we meant to make progress if not in steps? You're absolutely right. We do need progress can occur in steps. My concern is that in this historical moment, steps are not working. We need massive change, and we need it now. Fascism is here, okay? But you're right. Okay, I'm not dismissing the benefit of negotiating those drug prices. That is a good thing, but we need much more change than that to sort of fix the underlying problems that we have. Okay. Uh, Macy says the person who discovered insulin insisted that it be free. I didn't know that. That I would not be surprised. Many scientists and stuff like that do think that way. Unfortunately, they then have to face a system based off profits, and it's very depressing. Okay, Grace Abrams, the drug company that makes the Ozempic type drug, has increased its drug price in UK because Trump has requested the price to be increased in Europe to match the US price. Yeah. Honestly, it should be inexpensive everywhere. I think all humans should benefit from these drugs because I support humanity, and I don't think we should have a nationalist view of who gets drugs at low prices. But call me crazy. Who needs romantic heartbreak when you're a scientist in America? Oh, I know that. Sammy Lammy, hearing about prices are set in U.S. makes me feel bad for complaining about my med costs in Sweden. I only have to pay, folks, everyone listen to this. I only have to pay for it for 3.5 months per year, and then I reach free meds. What are we doing? What are we doing here in America? Okay. Sweden is not alone. Many European countries have systems that are much more. Thank you for that, Samuel Lammy. I think most people here would agree we need a much better system, and it is so frustrating to me. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, though. Please keep telling us those things. It's good to see what other countries do, especially more civilized countries like Sweden, who doesn't think people should die because they don't have medical care. Germany, yep, Winterlinda, yep, you're right. The much more civilized country of Germany, which thinks that people shouldn't die if they don't have medical, if they're poor or whatever. Samuel, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. I will humiliate myself. Okay. They do. They're very nice. Big Braden. From what I've heard, I haven't been there. All the Scandinavian countries seem really nice. Yeah, you're right, Alan W. Most Western European countries. Okay, let's continue, folks.
It was called Romney Care.
Yeah.
And you know who came up with it? The Heritage Foundation, the same people who came up with Project 2025.
Okay.
That is a corporate release valve so that people don't build up too much pressure and go to a rebellion or a revolution. But in the bottom line is, that was a tiny, tiny little fix thought of by a right-wing think tank. And then now when you say negotiate drug prices, Obama never did it, even though he ran an ad called Billy where he said he was going to do it. Biden does
100%
at most 6% of it. The Democrats are constantly doing 5 to 10% as a little release valve, but keep the machine going exactly as it is.
And we can totally agree that there should be more that's done. I guess maybe I was taking your claim too literally, which is that Democrats and Republicans agree on economic issues. And maybe there's a qualify in there. Is it largely agree? Is it mainly agree?
It's definitely large. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
not 100% agree.
sure.
Otherwise, it would be too obvious.
Sure.
But is it true that they largely agree? Of course. So
Yeah.
I'll give you many other examples.
Okay.
Paid family leaves at 84%. Yet
Yes.
the Democrats never seem to be able to pass it. Why do they never pass?
Yeah, that is very true. Okay. Uh, the Democrats love doing, like I said, this little song and dance where they are like, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And they get in there, they will control the Senate, they will control the House, they will control the presidency. And then they'll be like, oh, sorry, can't do it. We got to water it down to it's basically nothing. Um, and I see here more salt in the wound here. Ranch says I might be an outlier because I have been quite healthy, but I don't think I've ever paid for any medication here. Yep, that's Canada, another very civilized country, more civilized than we are. You know, folks, when I say that I love America, I really do, but you get the point I'm making here. I've never had to pay for meds per se in Canada, but I do think it's silly that dental and eye care and a bunch of other stuff isn't covered in our health care. That is interesting. Uh, I agree. I think that should be expanded. I think dental and eye care should be part of medical care. As a matter of fact, folks, historically, teeth killed people all the time. I mean, think about it. If you don't have dental care, you get a cavity, it gets infected, that infection spreads into your jaw, your face starts rotting off. I know I'm not trying to be gross here, but it's true, and you die. Teeth killed people, and having good dental health prevents unnecessary deaths. And I know I am having all sorts of issues. Genetically, I have lots of issues with my teeth. I feel that that should not be sort of separate from medical care. Uh, Ranch, I know you do have to pay more taxes. Now that's a good point, but allow me to explain something here. So here in the US, we don't have to pay as many taxes that go to healthcare, but every paycheck, if you work a full-time job, every paycheck, a chunk of that paycheck gets removed and sent to an insurance company to pay for your healthcare. So you would actually, if we had a universal healthcare system here, we would have more money coming to us from our paychecks, and our taxes would go up, but they wouldn't go up as much as we were having removed from our paychecks, if that makes sense. So you may pay more taxes, but again, we have lower paychecks because of the healthcare. In a universal healthcare system, the taxes will go up, but still be making more money than before because you won't be having it removed from your paycheck. Um, yeah, I agree, Big Brain. I feel like if we're benefiting from the taxes, then we should be okay with that. Yeah, Druzilla. Yeah. Thank you, Alan. Yes, the money you'd save would offset any tax increase. Absolutely true. Yeah, Alice, I'm so sorry. Yeah, my insurance runs $400 a month and still has a $6,000 individual deductible. Insurance companies are essentially criminal organizations. Okay, I know I might be exaggerating a bit, but Luigi Mangione. Anyway, they, exploit things. Uh, they're middlemen. They just profit off the suffering of people, and they do everything they can to deny necessary health care. Um, it's insane. Okay, as the number one single largest cause of bankruptcy in the U.S. is medical debt. Medical debt. You cannot help if you're sick, or we were throwing people into debt because they are sick, or God forbid you have some sort of chronic illness like Crohn's disease, or get cancer. I mean, it is immoral. Like it is ethically unconscionable. Um, it is criminal. I totally agree. I believe it is criminal. Uh, all right. So let's continue, folks. Yeah, I think Ranch. I think a lot of healthcare, a lot of insurance companies are kind of criminal, in my opinion. All right. And like I was saying, I mentioned Luigi Mangione here. As I said in my stream yesterday, if you beat people down and you mistreat them and you make them die of not having health care and you make them stay in pain because they can't afford medication, some people are going to get very upset about that. And then you shouldn't be shocked when violence happens. I'm just saying. And by the way, historically, he was not the first one to commit violence because of the healthcare system. There was a man in the 80s that did. I can't remember his name. You might need to look it up. This has an ongoing issue. Okay. Yeah, definitely free Luigi. Anyway, let's continue here.
Because they're not trying. They said they do the public option. Joe Biden didn't even announce them, introduce the public option. Why? Because they agree with Republicans.
Well, I don't think they agree with Republicans necessarily. I just think that sometimes it's hard to pass legislation in a bitterly divided Congress. Would you acknowledge that it's difficult very often in order to get things done?
Nope, I agree with Cenk on this. Even when Congress isn't divided, even when the Democrats control the House, the Senate, and the White House, they still don't pass things. They will then blame centrist Democrats and say, oh, well, there was nothing we could do. We can't get the centrist Democrats to get along with us. People like Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema, two monsters, by the way. But Biden doesn't, but for example, I know I'm doing kind of what they do by Biden, but this is just an example, okay? A president has an enormous amount of power. What would happen? Let's say, I don't know, I were the president. Okay, that sounds self-aggrandizing. Okay, let's say one of you were the president. This is what you could easily do to get someone like Joe Manchin or Kristen Sinema to vote for a bill. Get in front of a microphone. You're the president of the United States. Everyone will be watching. Call them out in person. Do it. It's called the bully pulpit. Presidents can use the bully pulpit to push politicians to do things. Yes, it is slightly, I don't want to say authoritarian. There is a sort of air there of, yeah, I know what people might think. But if it's for the good of the people, you fight for it. You don't go, oh, well, there's nothing you can do, little Manchy Manch. By the way, Biden did have like a cute little nickname for Joe Manchin. I think he called him Joey or something. So if Biden really did care about getting that passed, get in front of a mic, be like, hey folks, so I'm trying to reduce drug prices for all of you, but these two politicians are stopping it. Please call them. Please send them emails. Oh, and by the way, isn't it interesting? Let's look at who donated to their campaigns. Imagine a president that did that. By the way, Trump does this sort of thing. One of the reasons he is so good, he's not good, but he's effective, I guess, at getting the horrible things done he wants, is that he scares the fellow Republicans who don't support him. He gets in front of a camera, he names them. All right. Yeah. Oh, Big Braden, you got me there. Okay. FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, he famously said, uh, he said to Congress, like about business leaders, I hear they hate me and I welcome their hatred. Okay. Like he called people out. He did it so much that many people don't know this. There was something called the business plot where a group of businessmen and ex-military people were actually planning to overthrow him. Now they never did it, but he pushed hard. Okay. Like a president has a lot of power just by speaking. So why don't we get a president in there who will get in front of a mic and put pressure on those politicians? Or the president is also the head of the political party that they represent. Why don't they go, if they don't want to get in front of a mic, why don't they go to their politicians and say, well, good luck funding your next campaign. We're out. Okay. Unless you support this. Done. Easy. And we all know these politicians, that's all they care about is their funding. So why not? Anyway, by the way, here, who likes tea? I love tea. Yeah, you're right, real life cat DJ. Trump loves calling out politicians. It's something I don't want to say I respect him for, uh, but I do kind of, because it's like, and regard he's not a good guy. His policies are horrific. He's an open fascist. But hey, he is at least appearing to fight for the people that voted for him, even if he's not actually fighting for them. Okay. I know, right? Real life cat DJ. Yeah, I know. He's very good at wielding his power, even if it's illegal a lot of the times, I guess you could say. I don't support that, obviously. Thank you, Winterlinda. Yeah, tea's great. So, folks, just a reminder here: if we get 5 super chats, I'll put on the Jester hat. We currently have 3. If we get 10, I'll put on the Jester collar, and if we get 15, I will put on Jester makeup. All right, just a reminder there. Let's continue here. Uh, yeah, no problem, Macy. All right, let's go.
You don't
No,
think
see, that is
so?
the number one excuse Democrats use.
Okay.
Oh, golly gee, there was nothing we could do. And they're saying, no, there was nothing we could do. There was nothing we could do.
Okay.
In reality, he didn't even try for the public option, Biden. He didn't introduce it. So that pulls it over 70%. Why not try?
Sure.
$15 minimum wage. The Republicans didn't take that out of the bill. Joe Biden took it out of the bill. You see those things
Yep.
where you can tell intent. And the intent is he actually agrees with the donor class and the Republicans. He doesn't want the
Okay, for the folks in chat who are not from the United States, this might come as a shock. Well, it might not, but the federal minimum wage in the United States, so the smallest amount that an employer is allowed to pay someone, is still. Does anyone know the number? Let me see in the chat. Does anyone know what the current minimum wage is in the United States? I doubt it'll shock the Americans in here. Correct, $7.25 an hour. That's poverty wages, obviously. Okay. 15 on it, in my opinion, is still not high enough, but hey, it would be an improvement. And the Democrats keep saying they'll, yep, 725. Isn't that horrific? So yeah. All right. Just wanted to emphasize that. And the Democrats are like, we want to increase it. And they never do. So they don't care about you.
those things.
If I can-
and brother,
but
if
I
you
can
can't
still-
pass a bill at 84%, then,
But I can still-
are you saying the
so I can-
Democrats are the most incompetent politicians
No, I'm
in
not
history?
saying I'm not saying they're the most incompetent party, and I'm also not saying they're perfect. I think that we
They might be.
we risk running into an issue where we equate the two parties as being virtually the same, which leads people to not voting whatsoever at all because they
Yeah.
think the whole class is against them. And I'm in complete agreement with you that the two-party system is fundamentally broken, and that Democrats, in a lot of ways, have a lot of the same issues. I guess what I
By the way, I get really sick. You're right. I'm sorry. I keep pulling out the teacher moves. You're right, real life cat DJ, where I'm like, hey, who has a, who wants to, give me the answer. I know. I just it's ingrained in my DNA. So now, what did they just say? I get sick of folks like this blaming voters or saying, well, the voters aren't voting. And so we need to stop talking truth about what the politicians are doing so that we get more people to vote. I trust the voters more than this guy. And if the voters are not voting, then your party should do something to get them to vote for them, right? Am I a fool? The Democrats should do something that makes people want to vote for them. Okay. Oh, it is frustrating. And yes, I understand. It is frustrating because if the Democrats don't get elected, the Republicans get elected, and then boom, yay, Third Reich 2.0. Fantastic. Love it. Okay. No, don't. But you get my point here, right? Yeah, unless the Democrats actually do something and offer something, of course there's going to be people who don't vote because their choice is between do nothing Democrats and fascists. Anyway, I think I've made that like clear. Toya, 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 hello again from Brazil. Um, yeah, okay. All right, Ranch, yeah, fantastic. They need to earn our vote. Alan, thank you. Thank you, okay? They represent us. Us. Okay. Thank you, Samuel, for the 50 I'm sorry. I'm not is it kroner. I'm not quite sure what the currency is there, but thank you very much. Okay. I just want to see you in a jester costume. Well, we're getting closer. Okay. I'm gonna one more, and I'll put on the hat. Thank you very much. Um, yeah, Leigh Lane. Yeah, Clinton did do his campaigning on MTV. Huge surge on young voters. We need that again. Democratic politicians typically don't like that sort of thing. But yes. Thank you. Okay. All right. Fantastic. Let's continue.
I predominantly have an issue with is those who maybe don't take the time to have nuance in the discussion and just say, oh, they agree on economic issues and they only want to divide us on cultural issues.
brother, so
I think
here's
that
the difference.
It's important to make that, because otherwise people stay home. They don't vote, and then we're in the situation that we're in right now when a lot of people don't end up voting.
No, but Oliver,
See, but sorry, I gotta. So you notice like the language he uses. It's almost like he's like a patriarch. Like he's trying to convince the poor ignorant masses that they need to vote. All right, like, oh, they don't know any better. We need to lie to them so that they get to voting. I think you all know, and I think you would all agree that I trust the voters more than anyway. The people need to be listened to. Obviously, give them something. Um, Big Braden's back. Hello, Big Braden. Again, shall we continue?
So let me tell you my perspective on it. That's really important.
Okay.
So Democrats always say, "Hey, look, there's a 5 to 10% difference, so you should vote for us."
Okay.
But they don't quite say it that way. You understand that. I understand that.
Sure.
A lot of people here understand that. But what
Marketing
they-
is a thing, and we can
right?
agree
But
marketing
they
is a
no.
thing.
But hold on, this is super important.
Okay.
But they tell the voters, "We're going to make a big difference. We're going to do minimum
Sure.
wage. We're going to do public
Yeah.
option. We're going to do
Agreed.
paid family leave."
Yes.
And when they don't, people get disappointed and disappointed,
course.
and that leads them to not voting. That leads them to hating the Democratic Party.
Sure.
What I'm saying is go with populist left. That is
Okay.
the one thing that has not been tried.
Sure.
We would actually do the bills. We do the bills.
Okay.
Otherwise, then you're the same as the
Okay,
Republicans.
fair enough. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Oliver.
Yeah, I gotta say, I generally agree with Jank there. Ranch says it's ironic that he sounds like a patriarch, considering that Oliver is a leftist. Yeah, and that's one of the issues, Ranch, is that the Democratic Party is a elite party. Okay, they largely represent the interest of the businesses and things like that. Yep, not as much as Republicans do, but they do. And that's a problem. Okay, because there is a lot of times when Democrats talk, like just if you listen to like Chuck Schumer or when Nancy Pelosi was around, et cetera, they talk down to voters or they will criticize the voters and kind of like wag their fingers at them. And I'm like, well, that's your job is to do what the voters want, not to rule from above. So yeah, a lot of people are. That's a good point, bro. Moment. There are a lot of people who are one-issue voters, and I am oversimplifying this. Like, there are some people who just vote on the abortion issue, for example, which to me is insane. But yeah, it is more complicated. You're right. That being said, I will add this though, bro. Moment. That one of the way to get some of those people to start voting in another way is to actually give them something first. So let's say you have a bunch of people who will only vote for the Republicans because they view them as being quote unquote pro life. And technically they're pro death because they want women to die. Regardless, uh, if you suddenly, let's say their paychecks get bigger, they suddenly have health care, that might suddenly change their perspective on the matter. To get a lot of these folks back, we need someone in office who actually gives them something. All right. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Oof. Let's continue.
Hey, Cenk. Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Great to be speaking with you. I agree with your overall term here. I would say that at the end goal, they agree that we all want the same things, right?
Did they say there are also Republicans here? I think I heard. Yeah, Democrats. Okay, I'm curious to see a Republican, but we'll continue.
But the way we get it is two completely different economical viewpoints. We have the left that tends to be more socialist and communist, and we have the right that is more crony capitalist. The left wants to take your taxes and they
No, we don't. Okay, I'm sorry. That I almost died. Yeah, hearing that. Okay. Socialists and communists have practically zero power in the United States. Yeah, you got Zoran Mondani. Okay, fine. I love this argument. No, okay. We wish, right? We wish there were more socialists in power. All right. I wish I lived in this guy's alternate reality he has in his head. Alas, we do not.
would distribute it the way they want.
Yeah.
The right wants you to keep your taxes right now. They want you to keep your overtime taxes. They want you to keep your taxes on tips. So
Yeah.
what is your...
Yeah. So first of all, brother, you got to stop saying socialism and communism.
So, folks, can you all hear me? I'm just going to check and make sure everyone can hear me. All right, folks, I'm back. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? I'm back. Excellent, folks. I'm back. So it appears. So I actually did research on this beforehand. They said they just blocked it briefly because they detected copyrighted material. Um, from what I heard, from what I can see, I don't have any copyright strikes or anything. It was just kind of a weird thing here. Let's see what we can do. Does anyone know? Anyone have any suggestions? Does anyone know what I could do so that we could watch this without me getting turned off? I am very curious. Clips of it. Okay, Long Beach Dragon. If that's true, that is, I'm glad to hear that. I was trying to pause it often because I heard that you can do that, etc. Um, but we if you pause frequently and give commentary, exactly. See, that's what I thought. I thought that's what I was doing. Maybe I saw someone recommend maybe if I speed it up a little bit, that might help a little bit. I'm going to keep trying. Um, can I mirror it? What do you mean by that? I am a moron when it comes to these things. Oh, okay. Well, in the moment. All right. Thank you, Macy. All right. Okay. We've reached the first goal. Big Brother loves us. We love Big Brother. I know. Okay. So here comes the Jester hat. Oh, okay. Well, I'll take this off. All right. Okay. Here we go. Well, all right, folks. Next goal here. If you want to see me in full Jester garb, thank you again, Macy. If you want to see me in full Jester garb, if we get to 10, I will put on the collar. Let's start another goal here. This is actually a great pausing moment. Thank God for that copyright, right? Let's see here. Super 10 super chats. 3-hour timer. Jester hat. Jester collar now. Start goal. Okay. Oh, I can do that. I can actually do that. Can't, is there a way to do that where I can, I'm going to speed it up. Hopefully that'll do something. And, um, that's a good point, Alice. I know we haven't like finished a single one of these videos. Let's try this. I will pause it frequently. Okay, yeah. So again, this guy claiming socialism. Yeah, Bernie did have some socialist ideas. I think he probably does self-identify as at least partially socialist, but they don't have any significant power. And by the way, socialist ideas, if you look at the polls, are very popular. So-called socialist ideas such as universal health care, things like better roads. All right. Maternity leave. So things like that are very popular. So, but anyway, but that word, it has a lot of vitriol attached to it because of the Cold War. People are afraid of socialism, things like that. Let's continue here. I'm going to try and pause it more frequently. Yeah, you're right, Alan W. AOC and Bernie Sanders are the two most popular politicians in history. I just realized I want you guys to see the screen. Let me get that now back up here. Live stream. There we go. Okay. Boop. All right. That should be more helpful. Okay. Let's continue. Oh, Macy, thank you again. All right. So we got one more from Macy. Oh, I just realized I made it 10. I should have only made it 5. That's okay. Let's start making Halloween costumes now. Begin women's strike with all participants dressed as handmaids. Oof. Great show, by the way. Handmaid's Tale, also a fantastic book. Okay. Thank you, Macy, for that super chat. All right, let's go.
He's a democratic socialist. Even he doesn't really go towards what you would consider socialism, because you're putting socialism and communism in the same bucket where they don't belong. None of them are in favor of ending corporations, ending capital.
Okay, well, I paused it actually right at the right moment because Cenk is actually partially wrong there. Yes, they. Oh, is that so? Shut. You know what? Let's do that. I'll finish what I'm saying while I'm changing this. So what I'll do, I'm going to make the big screen small and the small screen big. That'll reduce the chance of copyright. So socialism and communism. Cenk says that neither of those want, complete what? government takeover and end of private property. That's not true. Okay, communists do. So communists want essentially all private property to be held in common. That's why it's called communism. Socialists vary in regards to this. Some want more, some want less. Uh, social control and such of businesses. But so it's a bit more nuanced than either of them really are kind of saying. All right, there we go. And by the way, folks, a lot of people conflate personal property with private property. So personal property is stuff that you yourself own that is yours, like this computer I'm using, things like that. While it did, don't worry. Oh my goodness, I just got two more super chats. Thank you very much. It only counted as one. Don't worry, I'm keeping count. We've had three. If we get two more, I'll put on the collar. Thank you, Sammy Lammy. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Thank you for all the advice here, folks. You're like my students. I'm always messing up the tech. Hopefully, this will be a little bit better. And thank you. Only count as one. So yeah, thank you. All right. So again, socialists and communists, even communists, believe that a person deserves to have personal property. So like you have things that are yours, right? Your food, your hat, your clothes. Private property is different. Okay, private property is much larger than that. Okay, and also has to do with owning means of production. It's complicated. They're both a bit wrong on this, and to different degrees. Okay, uh, let's take a look here. Almost there. Yes, you are. Okay. Oof. Geez. Okay, we're one away. Thank you again, Sammy Lammy. We're one away from the caller. Okay. People think socialism equals no house, no money. Yeah, that's nonsense. Okay, absolute nonsense. And it's by the way, it's also in communism. It's the same way. Like you still have a house and stuff. Okay, though I guess in more radical communist societies, the state would own the house too. But you know, bro moment. Okay, thank you, bro moment. All right, one more super chat from bro moment. Okay, okay, fine. I'll put on the collar. Now, geez. Okay, so if we get I'm gonna up the stakes. I'm gonna say if we get 10 more. I know I might have said five at one point, but let's say we'll say like 10. There we go. There's the Jester caller. We're almost there, folks. I'm almost done. Wear the collar, Daddy. Thank you. Shut, I think. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. All right. Hey, Drizzle. Okay. All right. The humiliation has begun. Let's okay, jeez. All right, there we go. And if we get to 30, I'll even take my shirt off. No, I'm kidding. Okay, I'm joking. Okay. Anyway, uh, so I guess apparently I'm daddy now. All right. I thought I got rid of the beard, but hey, I mean it'll grow back fast though. Okay, Macy Schroeder. My dad explained communism, socialism to me with eggs. The ruler give you what they want. What they think is enough eggs, but then change the rules and lower. Yeah, that is what happens a lot. Like in the Soviet Union, that would happen quite frequently. So they are different. Okay, let me see what else we got here. Jeez. Okay, yeah. All right. Okay. Revolt becoming a cam girl. Hey, you never know. I don't have a job now. Maybe I need to start an OnlyFans. Okay, I'm kidding. Oh, Death died today. Oh, geez, five. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. I heard $30 shirt off. Hey, I mean, I will be wearing the collar, so if I do take the shirt off, you're not going to be able to see much. But hey, you know what? Fine, right? That's fine. I will gladly. Uh, it's men can wear their shirts off, right? That's or whatever. Okay. Uh, so okay, Karl Marx gets a bad rap. I feel his communism. Okay, fine, Alice. Okay, how dare you, by the way? How dare you point out the truth? Yes, I originally said 15. Fine, fine, fine. So if we get what? How many are we at now? We're at six. Okay, if we get what? Four more? Is that what we need? Uh yeah, if we get four more, I will yeah, four, is that correct? Yeah, four more. Okay, fine. I'll put on the makeup if we get four more. Okay, how about that? I think I counted that right. Uh, This stream is going off the rails. Okay, it's gonna be like R-rated pretty soon. Okay, I have to remove my shirt without removing the collar. I mean, I can get some scissors maybe. Okay. All right. Okay. You also, but can you hear the jingle? Actually, I think I removed some of the bells on these, but some of the, well, you can't really hear it, but yeah, party. Okay. Okay, understanding. Sammy Lammy, from my understanding, Lenin and Leninism wasn't that bad either, but Lenin died too early and Stalin took over. Yeah, yeah. Leninism was there. It was a very complex thing. There were very good things about Leninism, very positive changes. Other parts were not. Yeah, maybe I would really like. It's okay, swap. It's okay. I can. I'm a masochist. Whatever. It's fine. Not literally. Okay. So let's continue here. Um, so again, different things. I am going to do a stream at some point where I talk about the differences. I've actually kind of already had this planned between like capitalism, socialism, communism, because it's very confusing for folks, and it's understandably confusing because there's a lot of different. Uh, Macy Schroeder, are there more liberation days or Stalingrad? Liberation days or Stalingrads? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I would actually like to talk about the Battle of Stalingrad at some point. It's very fascinating. All right, let's continue.
Capital, etc. In fact, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, their number one problem is that they're corporatists, not that they're socialists or communists.
No, they quite literally wanted to
will
end.
do whatever corporate donors tell them to do.
They wanted to
That is
end
the exact
businesses over
opposite of
vaccine
communism.
mandates.
Yeah, no, brother.
Yeah,
no, but that's drug companies. They're doing the exact opposite of communism. They're saying corporate donors will do whatever you corporations want. So when you turn to the Republicans, it's the same thing as Oliver. They have a 5 to 10% release valve with Donald Trump now. He's pretending to be a populist. So he goes, oh my God.
Donald Trump isn't
even
pretending, he is a populist.
Well, look at
he
the
just won the popular vote. Both
He
left and
did.
right
No,
moved in his direction.
hold on. So when
Okay, a couple things here. I wanted to address what Macy said. That's a good. Oh gosh, so many good questions. Okay. First of all, let me address what Cenk and this gentleman just said here. It really is Sammy Lammy. I love talking about. So, he's completely right. Trump is obviously a fake populist, not a populist at all. He pushes a lot of He claims to be a populist. He presents himself as a populist, but he gets into office and he just destroys working class people. Very much a fake populist. Okay, and we're back. We're back. Okay, so obviously we're just gonna hold off on the Jubilee video today. I guess I need to do some more research about how to get around that. Okay, we're back. Let's actually watch a town hall. All right, I know we started that one town hall yesterday. We could watch some more of it if you all like. Let me see what we got here in the chat. we got here? Okay, when you play the audio, the former just sketch it, Jerry Crew. Okay. Yeah, Alan, I'm rather shocked. Okay, like I did a whole series of reaction videos to Jubilee with my father, and there were no issues. And the YouTube said that Jubilee does not care about copyright as long as you're not able to monetize it, which I'm fine with. So I don't know what this is about. Uh, yeah, Jubilee really does want those views, right? Okay. Honestly, I like to see what people are talking about the Battle of Kursk. Yeah, bro, moment. Battle of Kursk is absolutely fascinating and doesn't get talked about enough. I'm very much a history nerd, especially when it comes to things like those battles and such. But we at some point maybe we'll do a stream on some of those. It's very interesting to me. Da, 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 da. All right. Honestly, I think it's because the entire video is being played. Okay, yeah, that's fair. I should probably just do clips. Part of the confusion is how both communism and socialism are both political and economic. Yeah, it's confusing. Yeah, that's true, Leyland. That's a very fair point. No, so Macy Schroeder, I don't want I don't like to monetize these live streams with ads because it's very disruptive for all of you, right? Ads will be popping up left and right. And to be honest, the number of viewers that do come in here, it's not really enough for the ads to add much income to begin with. But even if I did, I want you guys to be able to hear everything. So I kind of, I will clip the video afterwards and post those, and those will be monetized. But I don't want to throw ads at you all. I'm very much against that kind of propaganda. Regardless, yeah. So, yeah, they do. If I say they do, they will. But right now I have it set so it doesn't. Okay, let's go to. It isn't okay. So let's watch more of that town hall. Okay. Let's see here. Town hall. Find it here. Let me get. Whoops! Nope, not that. Let's not do that. All right. We did start watching. Oh, we do have a live stream going. Can I show this? I hope I can. Right now, Gavin Newsom is live. Can we watch Gavin Newsom? Let's try this. He's literally live right now. If we could watch Gavin Newsom, that would be quite fun. I mean, fun might not be the word for it, but it'll be quite interesting at least. All right. Hi, KY. I forgot I did say that we could talk about Ukraine a bit. Let me see if I do want to watch a little bit of this, and then I could talk about Russia and Ukraine. All right, let me pull up the live stream here now.
For ICE and others to say that they are doing what they need.
So this is live, folks. This is actually happening as we speak. This is I guess a press conference. Let's see. We can go back a bit. I want to. It's want to like what are these folks saying? It'll be interesting to just bash these politicians. Okay. Let's take a look. Okay. Oh, well, they haven't been going for very long. Let's take a look. Let's just watch here. Okay, this is them getting prepared. What is her name? That rep right there, standing right here in the middle.
Amendment.
Okay, let's hear Gavin Greasy. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Maxine Waters. Okay. All right. I think Gavin was about to come out here.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Okay. Let's get to Gavin. There we go. There's Gavin. All right. Let's take a look.
30. We expect that the legislature will move quickly and anticipate by the end of next week that they will complete complete that work. The maps will present themselves for the next few days. I know people are eager to see the maps. We anticipate these maps will completely neuter and neutralize what is happening in Texas. This does not go forward, I want to remind everybody, unless one of these other states move forward. There's still an exit.
Folks, I think I've said this before, but I am not for. I know, I know, Goose. I know. Yeah, again, folks, do not vape. Okay, 100% do not vape. Okay, bad for you. I know you're adults. I don't mean to talk down to you like that, but in case there are some people in the chat who are not adults, vaping bad. I am going to die early. My lungs are screaming out for help. Okay, uh, so just don't do that. On the okay. I know. Oh, I'm sorry, Toy. I don't mean to make it hard on you. So I am not for political uh, surrender. Gerrymandering is horrific, okay? Especially the Republicans have utilized it to basically disenfranchise thousands upon thousands of voters. If you don't know what gerrymandering is, I have talked about it before. I won't go into it now, but just know, it's where basically politicians draw lines about for what politicians will be representing what groups of people, and you can sort of manipulate it in a way that cuts out voters so that their vote doesn't really matter. All right. So they're doing a major push for that in Texas. Gavin Newsom, in a shocking show of strength, okay, for a man who I do not like, okay, is basically saying, okay, well, if the Republicans are going to do it in Texas, we're going to do it in California. And I'm all for that. You cannot let the other side get away with this crap and then just kind of lay down like a slug and let them walk all over you. All right. If they're going to be doing it, we should do it too. And I know it's undemocratic, but if that's the way the system is now, hey, and maybe, very much maybe, that'll convince some Republicans that it's bad. Who knows? Okay, and let's hope he does actually go through with this because a lot of times Democrats will say that they talk strong and then they don't really do it. So let's hope he does. Yeah, you're right, Long Beach Dragon. Jimbo Joe. That is a dark joke. Jimbo Jordan's district stretches. Um, uh, Yeah. Okay. Oh, it does stretch in the entire northern part of Ohio, and I know Jim Jordan because I'm an Ohioan, so I know. Papa DACA. It is Democratic. The vote for it will be in November. Yeah, no, that's fair. Papa DACA, you're right. That being said, like the idea itself is sort of undemocratic because you do cut out voters, even if the people vote for it. That's a fair point, though. If the people vote for it, it's not that big of a deal. Okay. Let's continue.
Not just Texas, but Missouri, as I mentioned, or Florida, Indiana, and these other states that are considering doing the unprecedented, rigging their elections with midterm redistricting. So we're hopeful they don't move forward. If that's the case, this effort will not be necessary, but we're not waiting and we're not anticipating that these states will be passive, particularly with the directive coming from President Donald Trump. With that, we're happy to answer any questions.
Governor, so you said a moment ago that President Trump is underwater on the economy. He's underwater on immigration. Historically, midterms are very bad for the party in power, Clinton, Obama. Why not put this effort? You could win some of these seats in Texas.
I would say.
You could win 40 seats. Would you look back on this as a wasted effort?
Quite the contrary. I mean, 5 seats is a magic number. 2020, 5 seats. Flipped 5 seats, 2022. It's 3 seats right now. He knows the margin of error. It was very specific. He wanted 5 seats. He was very specific when he assigned J.D. Vance not to go to the memorials and funerals of people who lost their lives in the floods in Texas, but rather to spend the time in Indiana to try to rig the elections in Indiana and redistrict there.
By the way, that's not much of an exaggeration, folks. The Republicans have been trying to rig elections. I think I mentioned this before. A while back, I believe it started in the 80s. Republicans realized that that they were demographically outnumbered. There are just more Democrats, and especially their views on the economy are not popular. If you directly ask them, okay, if you tell people exactly what Republicans are proposing to do, they don't like it. So the Republicans basically came to the conclusion. And by the way, there's documentation of this. I'm not just spouting this off the top of my head. it. There are internal documents. This is sort of their plot. Is like, well, through democracy, if we cannot get what we want, we have to, we can do two things. Either we can change our positions to more match with what the people want, or we can reduce democracy. They went with the latter. Okay, they just started deciding we should reduce democracy because if we keep things too democratic, people will start to we won't win. Okay, and so this is an ongoing thing that they're doing.
Exactly what he's doing as it relates to Florida. So this is not just about Texas. This is about running away with this system and rigging it midterm. So we're not going to sit back passively, hoping that somehow conditions align with those that are living with, I think, a pre-existing condition that somehow everybody's playing fair. Donald Trump does not play fair. You've seen that happen over and over again, and I'm just not going to sit back and be complicit. I don't think the people of the state of California are going to be complicit this November and watch the system get rigged and watch our democracy fail.
Does the trigger go into place if
Yeah, so Sammy Lammy says, I remember Sammy Lammy is from Sweden, just reminding people, as a social democrat, the party in Sweden, it seems dystopian to me just to be able to change the way the voting areas work like that. Sorry for the bad translation. I am tired. Hey, we understood you completely, Sammy Lammy. Yeah, I think we would all agree. I think most of us Americans would agree it's pretty dystopian. You can just manipulate it by redrawing the districts. Yeah, okay, not very democratic, I would say. Absolutely not. Okay, let's continue here.
any Republican state does this?
Yes.
And are you confident that you have all the votes in the
Yeah,
legislature?
unfortunately, Ann Coulter is still kicking.
I have the confidence of legislative leadership. A number of them are assembled here today, including the Speaker and the Pro Tem that were at a press conference last week, and they have confidence in their caucuses. We've been working closely with the caucuses in both houses for some time, and we believe we'll have the 2/3 to allow the people to decide for themselves.
Mr. Governor, if Trump is doing this, he's not going to stop with Texas. Are you calling on other blue states to do this now?
I think you got to meet fire with fire. I mean, this is a break the glass moment for our democracy, for our nation. The world's watching us.
Okay, I got to pause this. Sammy Lammy, you're giving some great comments right now. I want to see who in the chat had a similar experience. So Sammy Lammy says, I had just gotten released from the hospital and saw the election and was stunned. You're referring to the election of Trump. I went to bed hoping it was a fever nightmare or something, but nope, Trump actually won. I would bet there were a lot of people in chat that felt the same way. I believe the day that Trump won, I think I took the next day off work because I just couldn't bring myself to go in. It was like one of those moments, like people who were alive and on 9/11, everyone remembers where they were. I think that was a similar experience for a lot of people here. They remember what happened when Trump was elected. It was quite well, I am a teacher, Sammy Lammy, and I give you an A+ on how you're writing. Yeah, it was so it was quite a devastating day for a lot of Americans. Swap says, I remember watching the night of the election and seeing the area of sea of red. I remember turning my laptop off around 9 to 10 because the results were obvious at that point. Yeah, that's fair. I know a lot of people who woke up to find. No, Goose, that is fair. I'm just comparing how people remember it, right? Like there are certain events that people always remember what they were doing when it happened. And, maybe I might be making a bit of an exaggeration here. I think more people will remember what happened on 9/11. But a lot of people remember what they were doing when they found out Trump was elected. I'm not saying that like 9/11 was, the horror of 9/11, the mass death, was somehow comparable to an election. But I see what you're saying. Okay, my dad told me stories about 9/11, and as a Sikh, yeah, After 9/11, there was actually a Sikh cab driver, and that was murdered by someone who thought that that Sikh cab driver was a Muslim. And Sikhs faced a lot of discrimination because of ignorance. And let's be honest, it's ignorant. If he would have attacked a Muslim, that would have been ignorant too. So yeah. Long Beach Dragon, you were working less than 2 blocks away on 9/11. That's oof. Toya. Toya from Brazil says, when Trump was elected, I had the exact same feeling as when Bolsonaro won. For those who don't know, Bolsonaro was the sort of leader of Brazil for a while. Now he's now under house arrest, thank God. Okay, but he there was a similar event in Brazil, very similar to January 6th, where Bolsonaro and his cronies kind of whipped up a crowd and got them to attack Brazil's parliament. Forgive me. How I may be pronouncing Sikh wrong. I do apologize. Um, yeah, I actually, Winterlinda, I actually have a friend who lives in Germany, and she sent me a message. Um, she was on the verge of tears because she was so scared. Um, and she's not even American, but like she felt that Oh, Sammy Lammy. Oh, yes, I remember those events. I can imagine that would have had a similar effect in Sweden. So on a similar note, yeah, okay, same here. As a 24-year-old, I've never seen my generation more apathetic about an election in 2024. Hopefully, it was a moment of self-reflection for the Dem Party. Unfortunately, I hope it was a moment of reflection. I'm not gonna. I don't have much hope in that. Let's hope they learned something. Okay. All right, folks, let's continue. Just a reminder, folks, we only need 3 more super chats. If we get those 3 more super chats, I will put on some Jester makeup. I know. I'll do it. Okay. Just to finish the look here. So if you want to see me and humiliate myself, I have no problem doing it for the sake of the revolters. Okay. Though again, it's actually perfect because I love Jesters and Okay. Let's continue.
And so, absolutely. Again, it's look, identifying a problem is one thing. You got to do something about it. So this is about action, and that's what we're doing here in California. It's about resolve. It's about how. It's not about should we fire with fire. It's about how we actually achieve it. And so
he's right. Got to fight fire with fire.
And my expectation that other states will follow suit.
That's fine, Sam. You don't need to do any more. Trust me. Okay.
Indiana, Missouri, and there are a lot bigger legal hurdles for Democrats in states like New York, New Jersey. I mean, what is the end game? Do you feel like you can win this?
We got to win. I mean, democracy's counting on us. I mean, the founding fathers not live and die to see this moment. And so there's just too much.
Yeah, sir. I'll turn it up a smidge. Let me just get down here. I will increase the sound. 1 second. Okay, let's turn it up. I have to make sure I actually got this turned up. I do. Let me go over here. We'll turn it up. Boop, 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 boop. All right. Now, if it's just too loud, you let me know.
And, we can roll over and say, boy, maybe if we don't, they won't continue this process well beyond Texas. For a fact they will. They'll run up the score regardless. At least California could push back and neutralize Texas. And once a mind is stretched, it never goes back to its original form, the power of emulation. Success leaves clues. If we're successful in November, I imagine other states may consider their own paths. Some could happen as late as January. Some could happen earlier. Many states have not dissimilar independent redistricting commissions. They could take a look at exactly how we process this and how we approached it. Other states are differently situated. But look, end of the day, we're just, they count on us to continue to say one thing and do another. That's what's different about this.
God, okay, I know I always say actions speak louder than words, but boy, is Gavin spitting some truth here, okay? Again, let's not love him too much because we don't know if you'll need this. But yeah, he's right. Okay, he's calling out the Democrats and saying they're not doing enough, and that's what people want to hear. So let's hope that that's true. Long Beach Dragon, you say you're not confident that that will pass in November. Interesting. I need to look more into it. All right. Okay, let's go
We're not
on.
just asserting ourselves. We're going to prove ourselves this November.
Governor, there was a massive immigration for counties in California to say that the state can't afford this. The registrar in Riverside County said it's going to cost $16 million. The special election. What's your response?
Well, the state of California is going to fund that. And that's what the bill's all about. So, yes, it's deeply disingenuous.
We're going to do it.
And no price tag for democracy. And this individual should know, as he's a what?
The registrar of voters.
He should know the rules. Imagine that's a job description as well. The state will be funding it.
Governor, there was
Have
an
you
ice.
spoken with Governor Schwarzenegger?
Okay.
I had a chance to dialogue with the governor, as you know, as someone that opposed very publicly attempts to roll back independent redistricting, that voted for them in the first place. I share his vision. And
yeah, I totally agree. I would say, yeah, that was definitely, there should be no price tag on democracy. And if Gavin Newsom is honest about that, then next time he does an election, he should refuse to accept corporate donations and donations from the wealthy, which I suspect he won't. So again, actions speak louder than words. I hope he means that, but for him, it certainly seems that there is a price tag because he's always collecting that donor money. And it has led to him doing some things in California that are not in the interest of Californians. Yeah, my German friend, yes, Winterlinde, my German friend does want me to move there. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
I've made that clear publicly, and I've made that clear to him privately, and that's why it was important to talk to him specifically about the fact that we're affirming our independent commission, and we're calling for a national independent commission as well. Well, I think it's pretty sick and pathetic, and it just said everything you need to know, the setting that we're under, that they chose the time, manner, and place to send their district director outside right when we're about to have this press conference. Said everything you know about Donald Trump's America. And that was top down. You know that for a fact. And they'll deny it, I'm sure. Maybe they won't deny it. Said everything you know about the authoritarian tendencies of the President of the United States. I said it a moment ago, wake up, America. Wake up. You will not have a country if he rigs this election. You will have a president who will be running for a third term.
Facts.
Mark my word. I wasn't exaggerating.
He has made multiple comments, by the way. I'm sure you all know this. It's one of the most horrifying things that Donald Trump has been doing is made a lot of comments about running for a third term. His supporters have made comments about running for a third term. On and on and on. There were some folks plotting in his administration to have him run as vice president and J.D. Vance run as president. And then as soon as Vance gets elected, resigning and allowing Trump to be president. Like there's all these, yeah, that is the actions of a dictator. All right. And I am scared of that. I don't, yeah.
When I said that I received in the mail a Trump 2028 hat from one of his biggest supporters. These guys are not screwing around. The rules do not apply to him. The most corrupt president in history. He doesn't believe in free enterprise, crony
okay, I don't care about that shit. You know, he doesn't believe in free enterprise. Yeah, well, we need a little bit less free enterprise, if you ask me. I do see Long Beach Dragon said that he told his base during the campaign, we won't need to worry about elections ever again. Yeah, he did. That is scary. Okay. Yeah, I agree. I would be okay with them changing the rules so that someone who wasn't born in the U.S. could run as president. Yeah, yeah, I think that's sort of an outdated thing. But good luck getting people to do that. But of course, if we do that, then Elon Musk might run for president, right? So I don't know. Okay, anyway, but in principle, yeah. All right. Parents are pro-Trump. The one and only. My parents are pro-Trump. What should I do? During the election, they kept pushing me to vote for him. Juan, they can push you to vote for him, but you do not have to vote for him. All right? You are your own person. And there is nothing wrong, and I know this sounds bad, there is nothing wrong with going along to get along. What I mean by that is, if you don't want conflict with your family, you don't necessarily have to. You don't have to argue with them. You don't have to do that. You can pretend. You can play along. But what matters in the end, though, is your vote. Okay, in that regard. So keep up. Don't lose hope there. Um, yeah, gosh, Long Beach Dragon, spitting facts. Okay, Musk wouldn't need to run; he'd just buy it. Yeah, essentially. And I agree. I would love Zoran Mamdani to run for president again, though he was born in Ghana, and or Ghana, Uganda. Regardless, I think we see how popular he is. Yeah, yeah. Um, And Juan, I don't know how old you are, and I know it might be if your parents are those Trump supporters. Eventually you'll be an adult. You'll be able to make your own decisions, go other places if you feel uncomfortable. But I understand though. Family is family. Uganda, thank you. Okay, let's keep going here.
Capitalism. He is wrecking this country.
Yeah, see, okay, this is where Gavin starts to annoy me. Like, he's going to destroy capitalism. No, no, no. He has supercharged capitalism. He's cutting regulations. He is basically giving everything to the wealthy. I mean, yeah, this is Corpo Dem 101, right? Because they're not really on the left. So, moderate Democrats or Corpo Dems are not left wingers at all, right? They're capitalists. They are on the international political spectrum. They're slightly right of center. Okay. They're not left wings. Okay. This proves it. We don't need more quote unquote capitalism. I'm not sure what he means by that, but I can guess that's probably means privatizing things, tax cuts, stuff like that. Right now, that is destroying the country and making people much less wealthy. It is not good.
Wrecking the economy. He's a lawless president. Wake up, America. Wake up to what's going on.
Governor, the members of Congress here,
Agreed.
We know that Congressman Kiley has suggested that this is a bad idea for everybody. Obviously, he could end up losing his job, so he's interested in this. But are there other Republican members that are maybe saying this is not a good idea, that they're uncomfortable with this whole concept? What are you hearing behind the scenes from your colleagues?
So Kevin Kiley miraculously came up with this piece of legislation because he realized that his district was in question. That's about as self-interested as you can be. B, my colleagues will confirm this, we had our weekly call with our Democratic caucus, and every single one of them was grateful that California was stepping up and fighting fire with fire.
Okay,
they
guys.
said, can you lean in anymore? Because we need a playbook for how we can fight.
We'll stop that there. I think Gavin is done talking. That's interesting. Okay, so that was a weird moment where Gavin was actually spitting some facts. Okay, I am going to, let me see here. I'm going to go back to my face real fast. Let's talk about what we want to do next. I could talk about Ukraine and Russia, but let me just do my little thing here. Face screen. Okay, there we go. All right. How's everyone doing? Everyone good? I know maybe this was kind of a spur of the moment thing. Liberalism is to the right of center from my understanding. Sammy Lammy, liberalism is to the right of center from my understanding. Social liberalism is slightly more to the left. I think it is interesting that some Americans call social liberalism communism. Oh, I know, Sammy Lammy. I know. That has to do with our history, with the Cold War and things like that. The right wing has often been conflating liberals with communists and such as a way to demonize them. It's not true. Most people who identify as liberals are economically absolutely not left wing. Yep, yeah, you're right, Sammy Lammy or Alan. Thank you for saying that. The majority of Democratic Party in America is center right by international standards. At 100%. How do I feel about Peter Thiel? Oh, Peter Thiel, the monster incarnate. Okay. Peter Thiel wants to create a dystopian vision of society where you have these like tech lords. Well, let me put it this way: he thinks that the government should be run like a corporation, and that the president should be a CEO that has almost unlimited powers, because he thinks that we need to move into a technologically advanced future with AI and such. And in order to get over all the bureaucratic hurdles, we need basically a dictator to achieve that. Peter Thiel also is the man who massively funded J.D. Vance's rise to power. A lot of his followers are in the Trump administration. He is a Terrifying guy. Okay, folks. Let me see. We got some chats here. Let's see what we got here. Zoran will mount the floor. Elon Musk is worse than Trump. Genuinely, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. Uganda, okay, let's be honest. Bobert would wipe the floor with Musk. Yeah, maybe. Winterland Macy, people who stay to fight on the streets are great and needed, but if you being in a group that is in danger can do this work from abroad, yeah, that is fair, Winterlinde. That's one of the reasons why my friend from Germany was like, you should come here. And I'm like, may I'll consider it. Okay. There was actually, by the way, folks, there's a lot of experts on fascism, like scholars who have actually fled the country already. I'll say that again because it's terrifying. There have been multiple very brilliant, well-respected experts on fascism who have already left the United States. Some have moved to Canada, some have moved to Europe. Yeah, because they think they see what's coming and they're not here for it. Yep. Hey, Long Dragon, CasualRevolt's work. Yeah, I'm trying my best. Thank you for saying that, Long Beach Dragon. I'm sorry, Alan. I'm sorry. Oh, excuse me. This is why you don't vape. Alan says, Sammy Lammy, I'm sorry. Winterlinde. I'm sorry, it was Winterlinde. Macy, CasualRevolt's work here is an example, educating and telling the truth. Yeah, I try to be that way, but as you can see, there's consequences. I don't have a job now, but it's important. So, oh, by the way, folks, today I actually posted another video on YouTube of my dad and I reacting to a video about fascism, if you're interested. And just a reminder, if we get 3 more super chats, I will put on some makeup. I will complete the look. Um, yeah, the Democrats are not a left-wing party. Absolutely. I love the Jester. Thank you, Jonas Hassan. These degenerates in chat are trying to make me humiliate myself. So, okay. Yeah, Goose, you're right. Truth, I don't think people talk enough about him. You're right, they don't. I think part of the reason is he's kind of an unknown figure to a lot of average Americans, even though he's enormously powerful and a terrifying guy. Yeah. Real life cat DJ, I want to get your take on this. For the longest time, I've understood right-wing politics as individualism politics. Would also classify vigilante justice as a right-wing endeavor. That is an interesting point, real life cat DJ. I will say this. So there is some truth in that. Fascist movements almost always have paramilitaries, basically groups of vigilantes. I mean, they're often controlled by the state or a political party, but in the beginning, they are essentially vigilantes. Think about the proverbial lynch mob. That's a right-wing thing, okay? That being said, left-wing politics also includes that idea of, revolutionary movements. I'd have to think more about that. That's a great, it's a really interesting point you're making there. Why is there makeup in the title? Because, man, making me say it again. Saying that because, I don't know. Okay, well, because if we get enough super chats, I will put on makeup. I will complete the Jester look. Um, Jonas Hassan, recently came across your channel and content, especially with your dad and them. Love from the UK. Hey, thank you very much, Jonas. Keep strong over there in the UK. I know there's a lot going on there too, and I'm going to do a live stream at some point where we talk about it, the Reform Party, etc. Macy, I hope I don't die on the hill fighting about how we should fight before we get to the other hill to fight. Yeah, I get that. Sammy Lammy. Who are you calling degenerates? You. I'm calling all of you degenerates. Okay, I'm kidding. I know you're not actually degenerates. You're, I'm sure, lovely people. Lovely people. Okay. Uh. Uh. Long Beach. Why centralism? Oh, did Long Beach say he was centrist? That's okay. You sound like you don't like capitalism that much. I would suspect. I didn't see what his comment was. I would suspect it has to do with just not wanting to put yourself in a box. Okay, ride the skies. Let's see here. Do you think Trump will try and intimidation tactics during the midterms, like putting ICE and the National Guard at blue posting stations? Ride the skies. Don't give him that idea. I would not be surprised he's already doing intimidation tactics. What we're seeing happen in D.C. with the show of force too in L.A. It seems right up his alley to use strongman tactics to get what he wants. And given all of his talk about rigged elections and stuff, he is very close to doing that already. Yeah, so I could definitely see that happening. God help us all. I say that as an atheist, but God help us all. Oh, these are a lot of good messages here. Yeah, Macy Schroeder. Rest in peace, Emmett Till, folks. If you don't know who Emmett Till is, please look it up. I don't want to go into it now, but a very sad story. Okay, Alan W. Question: we had daily protests. People show up at Kamala's rallies to protest, outcry on social media, etc. And the Dems still didn't do anything about that. What more can we do? I feel hopeless. Alan, you're in the right place. I think a lot of us feel kind of hopeless. That being said, there are things we can do. I think I've mentioned this before. A strike would be great, especially if we had a general strike where everyone stopped working. There are people working to organize that if possible. Mass protests do work if, and I know this sounds bad, but mass protests typically only work if there is, first of all, millions of people out protesting, and second of all, if the police overreact to it and it gets caught on camera. Most protest movements in the past that have been successful have had that happen. Think MLK. So that could work. If the more protests there are, the bigger chance of there is something happening that changes people's minds. So that is something else that can happen. There are other things that we could do. I will say, I don't want if the FBI is watching, right? I don't want to mention some of those things. I'm sure you can all guess. But yeah, I'm not sure what else to say there. There are some things we can do. We can individually. The one thing you can do is think for yourself. Okay, try not to fall into the traps that are being laid for you by politicians. Goose. Also, have you taken the 8 values / 9 values test? I don't think I have. I'd be interested to do that though. Okay, Alice say the DC stuff is unnerving. Oh, you're telling me, Alice. You're telling me. Very much so. Death died today. Whoops. There we go. Gosh, a lot of good chats here. All right. Folks, can you still hear me? Looks like my stream may have had a moment. All right. Can you all hear me? Can you all still hear me? Good, good. Okay, I'm not sure what happened there. Fantastic. Okay, for some reason my screen cut out momentarily. Let's see here. Let's see what we got here. I'm trying to get an internship. Uygur. I'm sorry. I'm going to slaughter your last name if I try to pronounce it. But Igor says I'm trying to get an internship to the USA. Do you think I have a chance to get deported since the Fourth Amendment's under attack? Yes. I'm going to be honest with you, 100%. Even if you have a if you're documented and you have all that stuff, the Trump administration has been revoking these things left and right, often illegally. I have friends who are in the United States who are here on student visas and stuff. They're very scared. So yes, it is very possible you'll still get deported. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try to come by. But if you do get here, and I hate to be the one to tell you this, don't talk about politics, okay? Because those are some of the reasons why people get deported, okay? But yeah. All right. National Guard is people we know and people who know us. They are human. They can still see us all as humans. Yes, I would hope so, Macy Schroeder. The issue is that if you deploy the National Guard multiple times over time, they won't view people as human because it becomes sort of something they're used to dealing with a crowd. So, I mean, the same thing is true with police officers, right? They are us, but it can occasionally happen that they start dehumanizing people. Okay, real life Catty J. That doesn't mean my right wing liberation doesn't exist or is necessarily bad. Okay, oh sorry, Long Beach Dragon. I'm socially liberal, but for the most part believe that while the government should have a responsibility to ensure that the populace be stable, it also shouldn't be there to regulate every single thing. Hey, that's a fair point, Long Beach Dragon, and I agree with you largely. I think I've said it to everyone. I call myself a liberal socialist. I think people should be free. Freedom of speech, all those great things that the Constitution mentions. I do believe, though, in more socialized aspects of the economy because it's not working the way it's working right now. Long Beach Dragon again. I believe there are certain guarantees owed to the populace, but there are also individual autonomy, agreed, responsibility, and accountability. I'm with you there. Sammy Noctis. Hey, just curious, what do you think of October 7th? Okay. Uh, I did talk about that yesterday. October 7th was a crime. Okay. Tons of innocent people died. 100%. That being said, it does not justify what it has turned into in Gaza. There is a genocide happening in Gaza right now. Every expert on genocide agrees that it is a genocide. Even experts within Israel agree that it is a genocide. And by the way, this is not historically unprecedented. Oftentimes, when a group that has been the victim of a genocide, aka Jewish people, and again, this is not about all Jews. We're talking about some of the folks in Israel. Okay, there is a tendency to understandably feel much more under siege by other groups because of the history of that genocide. I can give you an example. During the Rwandan genocide, the Hutus had been pretty much oppressed by the Tutsis because the Tutsis had been used by the Belgians as sort of colonial overlords. So when the Hutus took power, they really did not like the Tutsis. And they ended up launching a genocide. Radical Hutus ended up launching a genocide against the Tutsis, even though they themselves have been massive victims of oppression previously. What's happening in Gaza, though, is a genocide, and I think it's very bad for Israel. The whole world is turning against Israel. I also think it's very bad for Jewish people everywhere because the government of Israel is constantly conflating it basically always says that it represents Jewish people everywhere. It does not, but it says that. So it makes it easier for anti-Semites to conflate Israel with Jews. Okay, they're not the same thing. There's a lot of issues here, but it is a genocide and it needs to end. The people of Palestine are human beings, and mass slaughter, bad. Okay, I don't know how to make that more clear. I think Netanyahu is a monster. He's a fascist pig. I'm just going to say that. His cabinet are full of a bunch of right-wing monsters. He's also, a lot of people in Israel don't like him. There were massive protests because he's corrupt beforehand. The government of Israel right now is committing terrible crimes. And I'm also furious that our tax dollars, American tax dollars, go to fund this genocide. Loud and clear. I can hear you thinking. Okay. Bigotry. Let's see. We got here. I'm actually just liking reading chat. Are we okay with me reading chats, folks? I'm enjoying seeing what you guys have to say. A reminder to everyone: if we get 3 more super chats, I will put on makeup. I will complete the look and become a full jester. And then I guess I said if I get 30, I know I won't, but if I get 30, fine. I'll take my shirt off. Whatever. I don't care. Gladly. Okay. All right. Jonas Hassan, bigotry is supposed to be cool, apparently. Yeah, I know. Sammy Lammy, excellent point. Okay, real life Catty J, I don't want to put you in a position that could compromise you, but how do you think your employer got a hold of what you said? You're right. I don't want to say that out loud, but it could have been anything, right? I mean, these live streams are open to the public. The commenting isn't open to the public. It's open only to subscribers, but it could have been anyone. And I don't know, but it happened. Okay. What do you think about the Cardi leaks on Roblox. I don't know about that. I'd have to look. I'd have to look into that. Okay. Sammy, let me. There's a difference between liberal socialist and social liberalism. By the way, I couldn't tell the exact one, but they are distinct. They are. You're right. Captain Trips, tell that to the victims of Mouse Dawn and Joseph Stalin. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Okay. Oh, you mean Mao Zedong? Okay, and Joseph Stalin. I'm guessing you're referring to those authoritarian governments that mass murdered lots of people, and you're conflating that with socialism. But that is not an accurate conflation. Yes, they were socialist governments. Some socialists argue they're not true socialist governments, but regardless, I will concede that. But that is not. There are also tons of at least partially socialist governments in Europe that are happier than we are very functional, and there isn't mass murder going on. So to conflate the two things is incorrect. Though that doesn't excuse the crimes of a madman, mass murdering a lunatic like Joseph Stalin, or Mao Zedong, who starved. Actually, his actions killed more people than Stalin did, starving millions upon millions of people. Okay, Matt Long Beach. Okay, this okay. Would you say okay, Sammy? Not knock tits. Would you say that genocide is ever justified? No. I understand that uh, maybe some people disagree with that. I can't imagine anyone who would. But no, genocide is never justified. It's called. It's also against international law, but some people don't care about that. So I will say this: genocide is where you murder an entire group of people essentially because of their identity. You don't differentiate between, let's say, children, women, things like that. The Holocaust, the Nazis didn't care. You children, kill women, kill, everyone in that group. It is communal punishment for the actions of a small part of that population, or even if not even if a part of the population didn't commit any crimes. Okay, genocide is not. I don't think it's ever justified. It was not justified when American settlers wiped out the natives that were here. It was not justified when the Hutus slaughtered the Tutsis. It was not justified when the Turks marched the Armenians on a death march and killed them. It is unfortunate. It is a part of it is something that humans do, but no, it's not justified in my opinion. And I will say this is not about, my comments on, for example, Gaza and stuff it's not about Israel. It is about my views on what anyone shouldn't do, right? I don't think the United States should have killed, for example, when Obama was president, he dropped bombs on several wedding parties accidentally. I mean, killing innocent people. It's not something I have a stomach for. In any case, I will say, is there anyone in the chat who does think that genocide could be justified? I am very curious to see who would make that argument. But okay, but historically, okay, I recommend listening to Gabor Mate about this. He's a Jewish Holocaust survivor that calls himself a former Zionist. Yeah, and I was saying this, folks. This is why I'm telling you, and I really want to emphasize this because Jewish people are human beings, right? There is an issue. That's why I think what Israel's doing is bad because it makes a lot of people conflate the two things. They're not the same thing. Some of the biggest critics of Israel are Jewish. I can name several of them. Okay, Noam Chomsky, Norman Finkelstein, Mate. Okay, so this is not an issue of Jewish people. It is an issue of a government, the government of Benjamin Netanyahu, committing a genocide. And yeah, okay. Okay, let's see here. Generally, liberalism is about individual autonomy, socialism about equality. Yeah, but you can have a liberal socialist society where you do have individualism and things like that. But I think, for example, you are more free if you have like universal health care. That's something you no longer have to worry about. You are more free if you have more money in your pocket and you don't have to work as much. Okay, if you have to work less hours, that gives more freedom. I think socialism can be very liberating if it's done correctly. But yes, a lot of governments that have claimed to be socialist in the past have been very authoritarian and have not provided those freedoms. Uh, Sammy Noctitz, guy, you know what? Yeah, I should have been careful about saying that. What would you say about Trump bombing Iran? Well, no, I don't think he should have bombed Iran. There wasn't really evidence that they were close to a bomb. And by the way, it wasn't very successful. I will say Iran is not a good actor. Okay, they want to make their own little empire in the Middle East and things like that. Let's put it this way. Let's say in theory it was good to bomb Iran. That would not have been necessary if Trump hadn't pulled us out of the Iran nuclear deal, okay, which was working. Every international observer said it was working. Iran stopped building their nukes and things like that. And then Trump just yanked us out from that, okay? So I don't want to go much into that right now, but it was an outcome that was unnecessary, regardless of how you look at it. Macy Schroeder, how far does following orders? By the way, I want to add something else to that, Sammy. Benjamin Netanyahu has been begging the United States to bomb Iran for over 2 decades. He wanted us to bomb Iran in the early 2000s. He wanted us to bomb Iran in the 1990s. He actually had a list of countries that he said he wanted the United States to take care of, bomb, and regimes he wanted to overthrow to basically allow Israel to become the dominant power in the Middle East. Let me name to you some of those regimes: Iraq, Syria, Libya. There are others too. I'm having kind of a mind blank here. Yemen. The only one of those that has not yet seen a regime change is Iran. And if you look at by the way, it's always been the United States that has done it, okay, often at the urging of Benjamin Netanyahu. And the only regime left that hasn't had a real big regime change is Iran. And you will see when Trump bombed Iran, there was tons of discussions, people saying that, oh, well, why don't we just overthrow the regime? We just need to, we need to cause them to have a new government and things like that. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay. Okay, Macy Schroeder says, how far down does following orders doesn't excuse war crimes trickle down? Should military strike? This is a complex issue, Macy. Yeah, I mean, yes, I think. By the way, there are a lot of Israelis right now who are, some of them were burning their draft cards and such. So there are people resisting this. It's complicated. I hope. LSA, do you think SCOTUS will actually take up Obergefell and reconsider, or is it a distraction? I don't know anymore. I think they probably will retake it up. It could be both. It could be a distraction and they'll take it up. Okay. All right. Shut. To casual revolt for Volter's former employers and those who pressured them, you are the problem. You are what is wrong with society. Just because you don't agree with something doesn't mean it's wrong. F you. Shut. I appreciate you standing up for me. Okay, I really do. Yeah, I can't really say much more on that, but thank you for saying that. Okay. All right. Arshan Mahmoud, do you think hostages are a weapon in the Palestinian genocide? I would have to know what you mean by that. They are a weapon. I'm not sure what you mean. Like, could you be more specific, Arshan? Like, could you just send another message? What aspect of it are you referring to? Regatoni, unrelated question, and you don't have to answer this, but is there a story behind the Jester outfit? Oh, absolutely. So, folks, historically, Jesters were the ones in a king's court in Europe who were allowed to criticize the king. And because they were dressed in a kind of silly way, they could get away with it. So they would be able to like make really rude comments to the king, and then the king would in public, and then the king would be able to be like, "Oh, well, they're just the fool. We don't have to, I don't have to listen to him." But the king would be listening, and oftentimes the jester was a close friend of the king and an advisor to the king. So the jester outfit is all about we in this live stream will often be criticizing the people in power, okay? And I'm trying to make that tradition great again, okay, as Trump might say. Macy Schroeder, is identity politics the first step to genocide? If people punished for their identity, um, got to identify as a punisher to be safe. I don't know about that, Macy. I'd have to think about that. Um, whoa, Turk slander. Yeah, I know you don't think that. Okay, real life cat DJ. Um, okay, I'd have to say I have selective support for capital punishment, and not even a hint of support for genocide. Right? Um, so so folks, if you want to, I do know don't know asks, is there hostility between you and your former employer, or do you understand whatever the reason was, or what's the situation? So I am not to talk about this, okay? I will say, if you go back to my last live stream, there's a segment in the beginning where I heavily imply what the issue was. You can go watch that, but for many reasons, I am not going to talk about it. Okay. Um, yeah, correctly. Exactly. I'm wearing the hat and the jester outfit so I can mock the king and the people in power without being offed. Uh, um, okay, Casual Revolt. Wasn't it Israel who pressured W? Yep. Oh, thank you for reminding me, folks. Benjamin Netanyahu was the one through Mossad, who provided the quote unquote intelligence that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, and thus the United States should invade and overthrow that regime, which happened to be one of the regimes on his list of countries that he wanted the governments overthrown of for the sake of allowing Israel to dominate the Middle East. Yeah, so we did that for him. And I will say, there were no weapons of mass destruction. So that's why I also partially get frustrated when people say, Israel's America's special ally. I don't know about that. Okay. Right. Yeah, real life cat DJ. They were attempting to clean up their image. Iran was. Yeah, Alan W., you're right. We've propped up dictators in the Middle East for decades. We originally actually supported Saddam Hussein. We supported Mubarak. We supported Assad to some extent. We have supported lots of far right wing dictatorships. The United States, I know I keep mentioning Israel here. We have not been innocent at all in this. The reason Iran hates the United States so much is because we overthrew in a democratically elected government there when they attempted to nationalize their oil industry. If I could go on and on, maybe we'll do a deep dive on international politics. No, Long Beach Dragon, I will not say. Alan W., yeah, I don't think most people realize how evil America's. Yo, folks, I'm going to do a live stream once. America has an empire. We have been brutal. We've overthrown multiple regimes. We claim to be, the great people, the supporters of democracy, but more often than not, we overthrow democratically elected governments and install dictators who are brutal and violent to their population. I can name multiple cases in South America where this happened. I can talk about the Suharto regime in Indonesia. I can talk about Iraq. I can talk. There are many. Okay, it's a horror story. I can tell you, there for the people of Chile. They had their own version of 9/11, and it literally happened on 9/11. It was when a democratically elected government was overthrown by a coup orchestrated by the CIA, and thousands of people died. And what was installed was a military dictatorship that ended up disappearing and killing tons of people. All right, so yeah, my point is the United States has not been great at all. Quite the opposite. Yeah. Macy Schroeder, yeah. Thanks for answering the jester outfit. Story is golden, right? Thank you. If you guys want to know, if we get 3 more chats, I will actually put on the rest there. I can put on some jester makeup so I can complete the look. If not, I understand. Okay. Yeah, don't get me wrong, Matt. For the Europeans in chat, I'm sure you're very familiar with all the European empires, or France's, for example, involvement that's still going on in Mali. The European empires have been brutal as well, horrific. It's not just America. Empires typically are pretty brutal and horrific. Um, yeah, we can talk all about that too. Okay. El Salvador, 100%. El Funk. Yeah, we did. Yeah, the amount of war crimes and things that we have supported has been horrific. By the way, one of the reason why so many immigrants come to the United States from South American countries, partially because we have destroyed them, literally bombed them, or funded far-right terrorist governments that have kept the people in poverty. And when those people attempt to take some control from themselves and install governments that are more democratic and more for the people, we say nope, and then we overthrow them and reinstall a dictator. So one of the reasons so many immigrants come here is because of us. We have made those countries very hard to live in. And if you want to stop immigration to the United States, I'm not saying that we would want to do that, but if that is your goal, the number one way to do that is to rebuild those countries economically. Send money to those countries, help them build their own economies, help them come back from the destruction that American foreign policy has caused there. I am slightly oversimplifying. There are other issues too, but America has largely been the culprit. Okay. But we'll never do that, I'm sure, because, can't send money to help other people that we've destroyed. Yeah, you're 100% right about that. No, Alan W. Uh, I will gladly do a deep dive. Yeah, Mubarak. Yeah, yeah. Um, all right. Europe's actions in the Sahel region of Africa are also equally disgusting. 100%. Would you consider yourself an isolationist or non-interventionist? No. Um, I so we'll do a deep dive sometime. I would not say I'm an isolationist or a non-interventionist, but vast majority of the time, yes, there are limited occasions where I would say, yeah, we should get involved. But most of the time, I think it's wrong. Mo, hey, thank you. Okay, we got another super chat here. Make it pink and sparkly makeup. Chappelle Roan inspired. Well, we're gonna have to see. We're gonna need two more before that happens, Macy. Okay, so thank you for the super chat. The thumbnail of your dad on today's live video cracked me up. Right, thank you. Australia. Oh no, Matt, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to imply that what Europe has done is and Australia is doing and stuff is still not happening anymore. That was my history brain going. It does absolutely still happen. Okay. Um, Funk, my mother literally came out. Oh, okay. Here, I'm just going to be sad to read this. Funk, my mother literally came during the Civil War in El Salvador to escape the violence. I am lucky to be born here in America, yet many like me forget their parents' humble beginnings and pull the ladder. Yeah, yeah. We were largely responsible for that Civil War. And this is my point, folks. You think too many immigrants are coming here, then maybe we should stop destroying their homes and keeping them in poverty and making it so that they want to come here. Sammy, okay, Sammy, please don't lynch me for this. I would never. Okay, but I'm not super into politics, but I want to be. What's so bad about Trump? I don't really get the hate. Hey. So I'm not. I won't go into it now, Sammy. The reason I'm saying that is because if you watched one of my last live streams, we talk about it quite a bit, and we will in the future. Trump is a fascist. I mean, if you look at what fascism is, he meets all the definitions of it. Um, but yeah, so I would go watch those. Is Yeah, I think if I were to ask people in chat what they don't like about Trump, we would be here all day because I'm sure the list would fill volumes. Okay, he's a problem in a lot of ways. He's anti-democratic. He's authoritarian. He has fascist tendencies. He is damaging the country economically. He supports dictators. He's massively corrupt. He's hiding the Epstein files. He has no regard for American democracy. Is dismantling the Constitution. See, look, I'm starting and I won't be able to stop. I'll stop there, but okay. Death died today. I researched Abu Ghraib a bit last night, and I don't really know if my psyche will ever recover. Yeah, death died today. If anyone does research Abu Ghraib, just be prepared for the images you're going to see. When America tortured a bunch of captives there. Um, Real life cat DJ. You won't be lynched. The community always welcomes someone. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Real life cat. We welcome anyone who is willing to learn. Okay, and I will say, Sammy or who was the person who asked about Trump? If you should join our Discord channel. We do a lot of people there will help you out. Maybe explain some of it to you. Um, yeah. Other question. As a teacher and a well-educated guy, yeah, I would love to debate someone. I would be open to that. I think I might be too small of a channel at this point to get anyone to want to have me on, but I would have no problem doing that. Alan W., the only reason I'm alive is because my mom fled Bosnia during the genocide there and met my dad in America. Yeah. Yeah. Sweden isn't too nice to the Sami people. Oh, that's for sure, Sammy Lammy. And we don't discuss our role in this. Oh, that is also very true. Um, yeah, Sweden did have quite a role in the slave trade, been quite cruel to indigenous peoples. And I hope you all know when I'm criticizing your countries, I equally criticize all. Okay, I'm an American, so I tend to bash America, but no government, no state is free of guilt in these things. Okay. Um, Sammy, okay, Sammy, his self-aggrandizement. Okay, Funk. I also look into the history with the so-called Central Park Five. Oh, yeah, it's disturbing. Yeah, I do recommend people do that. Look at what Trump's history with the Central Park Five, the racialized language Trump uses there, the clear racism he expresses to try to get these innocent men convicted, the creepy pedophilia. I don't know if I can even mention that on stream. Stuff that Trump did when he was in charge of beauty pageants. He would go into the back rooms where all the young girls were, would brag about it, where naked women were and stuff. I mean, he's not a good guy. If you like his politics, you could at least acknowledge he's not a good guy. Death died in Abu Ghraib. Okay, there's so much. Yeah. Speaking of, yeah, I'm sorry, Alan W. So, if anyone's able, would someone put the Discord? You know what? Well, I could probably do it real fast. I can put the Discord link in chat here. Let me just get that up here real fast. Oop, I want you to see my screen here. All right. I'll put that up here for people who are interested. We have a nice little community on there. It's growing. Uh, all right. Discord. Oh, let me see. I'm going to get a link. All right. CasualRevolt community. Invite people. This link to expire never. Copy. Okay. I will put it in chat, folks. If you want to join our Discord, here you go. Okay. Boop. All right. The last few comments here. Are you still teaching? I am not at the moment. Actually just found that out yesterday. Yeah, man, the Red Cross reported that 70% of the people who were in Abu Ghraib were civilians, 100%. Not saying that actual militants deserve such treatment either. Yeah, no, you're right. That's what happens when you don't give people due process and such. Okay. So Goose says Elefunk, he got fired. Not technically true. What I mean by that is that, how do I phrase this? Forced to resign is a better way of phrasing it. Yeah. So essentially fired. Yeah, he did say that. Trump said, when I see a woman, being what they like rich people, I can just grab them by the, Do my former students know I got fired? I don't know. I don't know. I am not able, as part of the agreement regarding the forced resignation, I am not to speak about it. But if you watch the previous live stream, it becomes very clear. I try to sort of hint at why I was fired or forcibly resigned. Okay. Okay. That is true. Yeah, that is correct. And that was a very kind thing that the employers did, is that they ensured that it would not be a stain on my teaching record. Okay. All right, folks. I know I said we would do more today. We've been going for a while now. Does anyone have anything else you'd like to add to this conversation? We did not reach our super chat goal, so that's okay. But unfortunately, you won't be able to see me get to put on makeup today. Maybe another time. Um, tomorrow I will do another live stream. I will try to figure out some of this stuff. I know I also said I would talk about Russia and Ukraine, but hey, I got distracted. I'm really enjoying these chats. Maybe tomorrow we can do. I'll find a better video to react to, one that won't get me copyright strikes, and we'll probably talk about Russia and Ukraine. Then I think it's important to talk about. Um, love you all very much. Let me do my last little thing here. Yeah, trans rights, super important. Uh, all right. Okay, so let me make sure that you all can see me. You know, real life cat DJ, you know, I always want to hear what you have to add, okay? Even when we're bickering with each other a little bit in Discord. I love it. Okay, so let me look here at the screen. You all know, you should know by now what I'm going to say if you've been in this live stream before. Before we leave, don't stop resisting. Never stop resisting. The easiest way you can resist is to think for yourself. The easiest way to resist is to think for yourself. Do not, that includes when you watch me, okay? Many of you don't know me. I could be spewing bullshit. You know, I could be lying to you half the time, all the time. You don't know. Come up with your own, think about things for yourself. Do not become dependent on me or anyone else. Okay. That is the greatest way to resist not only what is happening in this country, but when dealing with politics in general. Furthermore, we need to fight fascism. The best way to fight fascism is to reform the government, make it more democratic, provide people with basic needs that they need to survive: universal health care, higher wages, stronger labor unions, more democratic society. Fascism is caused by alienation. When people lose faith in a democracy, they feel it no longer represents them. They're in despair economically. They start looking for scapegoats, and strong men, people like Donald Trump, can take advantage of that. So the way to change things is not to go to the center. I know that's controversial, but it's not. It is to make major changes and reforms. We need major reforms. Lastly, on the wall behind me, to my right here, back on the wall, you can see a sword. It is sitting up against this couch. Okay, that sword is called Chainbreaker. It is rumored, legend has it in my family, that it was responsible for the death of at least 7 slave owners. The reason I have it back there, to remind everyone that America, many people have died in America fighting for some of the things we have today, okay? Some of the liberties we have, some of the freedom of people, right? Chattel slavery was ended by many thousands of people dying for it. We cannot let their sacrifice go to waste. We cannot allow those things that we have gained through their sacrifice to be lost. As at the same time, we must work to improve the country even more and gain more freedom, okay, and more liberties, and improve the country more. And on that note, folks, I'll hopefully see you all tomorrow. You all have a great rest of your night. Love you all. Okay. And goodbye.